Today we did this meditation. It is called Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, taught by the Buddha. It is very useful to know our thoughts and emotions and feelings and their nature, that whatever arises in this body and mind is subject to pass away. We can actually experience these things when we continuously meditate on feelings and on mind. We can see them very clearly whenever the thought arises in the mind. We can know them without involving ourselves, without judging them, without reacting them. We can know their arising and their passing away. Then, by knowing this arising and passing away, we come to experience tranquility, rapture in the mind, happiness in the mind, happiness in the body. That is what the Buddha said in one of the Dhamma Padagata, Yato yato sammasati khandanam udaya bhayam lavati piti pamojjam amatang tang vijanatam. Whoever sees this aggregates of body, aggregates of feeling, aggregates of mind, feelings, mind, intentions, and aggregate of perception. By seeing these aggregates as they're arising and passing away, one will experience tranquility, rapture in the mind, rapture in the body. It is still can be experienced by anyone. It can be experienced by monks. It can be experienced by upasakas, practitioners who practice this meditation. At the early stages, yes, it will not be so obvious to observe arising and passing away, because our knowing is not rooted in the wisdom. That is why we are not able to see their arising, to see their passing away. That is why we react over them. We involve ourselves into these thoughts and feelings. Once we learn about letting go and their arising and passing away, then surely whatever we experience, feeling or thoughts, you can be very stable, very calm in any situation, in any condition. Let whatever happen, you can see them very clearly. You will see two things. They arises, they stays for some time, and they passes away. Without reacting them, without judging them, you will experience only reality. That yes, this sound arises, I don't like sound. Because of that sound, which I don't like, you feel aversion. You don't like such unpleasant feeling you have. So you know everything very clearly at the level of feelings, at the level of mind. So today, related with this, I would like to read a sutra taught by the Buddha. So it is very small sutra and very practical, as you have meditated on feelings and thoughts. Now it will be easy for you to understand this sutra, the discourse of the Buddha. The name of this sutra is Sabba Parinya Sutra, which means complete understanding of all. So sutta is like this in the Pāli. Uttan hetang bhagavata, uttam marhatati me sutang. This was said by the Buddha, the perfect one. That is what I heard. Sabbang bhikkhave anavijanang apparijanang tattha chittang avirajayang appajahang ababbo dukkha khayaya. Meaning, monks, without directly knowing and completely understanding the all, without this passion for it, and without giving it up, you can't end suffering. Then sabbanchako bhikkhave avijanang parijanang tattha chittang virajayang pajahang bhabbo dukkha khayayati, which means by directly knowing and completely understanding the all, having this passion for it, giving it up, you can end suffering. Etamathang bhagava avocha. This is what the Buddha said. On this is said. So Buddha continually, constantly saying that yo sabbang sabbato nyatva, those who know the all as all, are not attracted to anything. Sabbathesu na rajyati. Sabbeva parinyaso, they completely understand all. Sabba dukkha pamupajjhagati, and have risen above all suffering. This is a matter that was spoken by the Blessed One. So here the Buddha said that until and unless we don't see things clearly, completely, all the things, which means we have five senses: air, eye, nose, tongue, and body, including mind, 6. And we have these elements: Pathavi, Prithvi, earth, water, fire, wind element. This body is made up of these 4 great elements. And the Vedanas, there are 3 kinds of feelings: pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, neutral feeling. And whatever thoughts we experience, we should know them directly. As today we have done this meditation, we try to watch feelings directly. If the feeling is unpleasant, we try to know the feeling is unpleasant. The feeling unpleasant, when unpleasant feeling arises, we have to know, yes, this feeling arises. And this feeling is subject to pass away. We can also see complete feeling arises and feeling passes away. Similarly with the thoughts, any thoughts arises, like a hateful thought arises in the mind, it arises and it passes away. We can see it very, very clearly. And when we hear sound, when we hear a sound, then knowing also arises. Hearing, what we called it hearing. Whenever the sound arises, hearing also arises. That is air consciousness, we say in Pali, it arises. When sound passes away, air consciousness also passes away. Similarly, when we see an object, when object arises, eye consciousness also arises. When we blink our eyes, then the contact between object and eyes breaks. Then eye consciousness also passes away. It also passes away. Similarly, when we take breath, with the breath, there is a smell, good smell or bad smell, whatever. It come to the nose consciousness. The nose consciousness become aware. What we call is consciousness. The consciousness means it become aware of object. Regarding object, it become aware. That is the consciousness. Whenever it come into contact with object, so consciousness also passes away. So in the sutta, what Buddha said, whatever we experience, feelings, mental states, or whatever we feelings experience through the senses, we have to know them completely, clearly. We have to understand them clearly. Nowadays, normally we experience everything. The sound arises and we hear it. We see the object. Eye consciousness also arises. We know them. We also understand them. But this kind of knowing, this kind of understanding is not rooted in wisdom. We cannot see them arising and passing away. When we see arising and passing away, then we will not have aversion, we will not have liking, we will not have disliking also. We will maintain our calmness, our equanimity with the wisdom, without reacting, without judging. We will stay safe. We come to know their nature. Yes, they arises, they passes away. They arise and pass away. They're subject to change. And none of them in my control. The sound is not in my control. The sound arises its own, it passes its own. So why should I get angry over them, over it? Likewise, we can understand all the senses. Whatever we experience through our senses, we can, like this, we can understand. Knowing like this, understanding like this is right knowing, right understanding. When we have this knowing, this understanding, then only we are able to eradicate our suffering. Otherwise, we increase our suffering. You don't like something, you don't like anyone, somebody whom you don't like. Whenever he come in front of you, you see that object. You understand that object, but understand in what way? Understand in wrong way. That you remember all the sorts of things which happened in the past, you remember, and you say, this was the fellow who abused me. This was the fellow who didn't listen me, who did something wrong. You understand them all the experiences. But this understanding, this knowing is not rooted in wisdom. Rooted in wisdom means what? This object arises, it will also pass away. We know this nature of objects, of feelings, of thoughts and emotions. Yes, whatever arises, it will also pass away. We know the subject, we know their nature, they arises and passes away. Then we will not get angry over them, we will not like or dislike them. They are just phenomenal things. They arise and passes away in their own way. It is very simple. And we will experience extremely tranquility in the mind, and happiness in the body also. And we also understand, we will come to understand that the mind operates because of sense objects. The sound arises, object arises, smell arises, mind operates. We will come to know about cause and effect. Cause and effect. This is what the Buddha said. We must know them. We must practice this meditation sometime whenever you get a time to develop your own, seniority, calmness, understanding. You experience this method taught by the Buddha. You see what kind of experience you can have. And it creates very good things, whatever arises. See, when you are good in this practice, if someone praises you, then you can understand, oh, someone is praising me. Tomorrow, he will abuse me. This is not for permanent. If something you gain, then you will not be like, you will not attach to that. You will know its subject. Soon or later, I will lose it, or someone take it away, or it may be burned by fire. You will understand all those things in the world also. You will be very calm, very peaceful, very stable, without reacting, without creating many problems in the mind. So this is what the Buddha said: when we see clearly, rightly, and when we completely understand all things, feelings, mental elements, then we can end our suffering. Sometimes we suffer because of gastric problems. That is the gas, wind element. We don't have any control over that. Whenever it increases, we will suffer. Sometimes heat arises. It increases so high. We feel so heated. Then we need some fans. We suffer because of these elements also. But when we know them very correctly, sometimes whatever feelings, like for example, heat, you meditate on heat for some time, yes, it is unpleasant feeling. Sooner or later, it also pass away. Like it become less and less. The body becomes so cool and still. So such things also happen in the body. So we should also know this body and mind, because these two causing to everyone, to each of them. Mind become cause for body also. Body also become cause for mind also. So we have to know them, and we should deal with the thoughts and emotions very clearly by knowing their arising and passing away, by knowing their nature, that they all pass away, whatever we experience. Then our mind will accept everything, and we actually experiencing their arising and passing away. So with this short talk, I would like to conclude here. And by observing, in summary, we can say, by observing feelings, mind, and body, by knowing them, by understanding them, we can end our suffering, mental suffering, bodily suffering also. Bodily suffering in the sense, you may not able to eradicate bodily suffering, but your mind will be detached from that suffering. Your mind will accept, yes, this is what happening because of these elements. So your mind will not be like increasing, create many thoughts regarding body. And of course, whatever in the mind arises, you will stay very calm, very peaceful, and you will let them go. You will not involve yourself in the thoughts, in the feeling, because you know the nature of the body and mind, feelings and emotions. So this is the summary, and this is how, by knowing them, we can end our suffering. So with this small Dhamma talk, I would like to conclude here, and I wish you all very good health, peace of mind. May you all be safe and secure from dangers and accidents. May your family members also enjoy very good health, peace of mind. May they also be free from dangers and accident. Sabithiyo vivajjanto sabbarogo vinassato mate bhavatu antarayo sukhi dīgāyuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. See you next Sunday. So we have this Sunday program every Sunday on Sundays. You can come on any Sundays whenever you have time. You can join us in meditation. You can have this Dhamma talk. You can also ask questions if you have personally. See you next Sunday.